Well, hot damn everybody, and welcome to another episode. We are currently in a very weird area. We're in the lowest floor we've seen so far, level 12, the prison. Oh my goodness, and it looks like there's even another floor after this. The question mark, question mark, question mark. Very weird. A very odd tile set. This is obviously one of the old doors we saw, and now you can see cogs in the wall, and it's all very metallic looking. But we don't have a key that will fit in this hole, actually. I kind of ended that episode maybe in the wrong way. I didn't mean to make it seem like we could actually get in here yet. We don't have any keys, so we can't get in. Now, last episode, Arachnia was ready to level up, but I hadn't done anything with her. I have decided, because I'm not kind of uploading and waiting for you guys to actually give your say, so I hope everybody understands this, I'm going to go into ice magic, because here's the choice that we get, right? If we were to go into air magic, which is what I really wanted, we could have got the invisibility spell, which I really kind of wanted to show off. We could have got much more dex, which went into our build more, and air is kind of strong anyway, so air would have been perfect. But because I accidentally put these 4 points into ice, we're going to go into ice instead. This will increase our willpower, so our existing spells will get stronger regardless. It will give us resist cold and stuff, so that's what I'm going to be doing here. We're going to go 4 more into ice. That gives us 2 spells. One of them is this. This is your default ice attack, which is the kind of spiky thing that comes out across the floor. And also, I think we've learned enchant ice arrows as well, which, I don't know, could be that. No, I don't know. So I'm not sure what that is. But anyway, I don't know how much I'll be using that. I will try my best to. But that's what's going on with Arachnia there. Obviously, she was dead. She was on a bit of a hiatus last episode. She was dead for quite a long period of it. So we couldn't really cast many spells. But anyway. So, there's nothing really we can do down there. There's 2 doorways down, really low, a kind of scary looking place that, like I said, I don't think we were ever meant to reach. But we've actually got this section here. That's the teleporter we came from with all the Grimrocks before. So far, it's just kind of a bit of a square room, which is nice. If you look behind the save crystal, you will see loads of items and goodies on the floor back there. That's a secret, which we'll get later. We've got these tapestries. Namely, there's one next to the iron door, which has an alcove. And there's no hint for this at all, so I don't know. I'm not sure how we're meant to figure this out, but do you remember I told us to keep the red gem? Place that for the iron door. And you can open this. When I did this on my test run, I got the achievement for having found all iron doors in the game. Yay. I think there might be some on lower floors, but it's just on my very original run. I may have got later iron doors. So anyway, we get a bow here. Another bow, and this actually is pretty cool. If I'd been saving arrows, I definitely would swap to it. So our crossbow has 20 attack power with a speed of 9. This thing has 19 attack power, so only 1 attack power less, but a speed of 11. So, and the flavor text is a powerful bow made from the horns of a crookhorn ram. Which is really cool, actually. The crookhorn longbow, I think, is quite a nice weapon, and it probably would be quite strong. But the thing is, I've not been keeping all of my broadhead arrows with me. If I had 2 ranged guys, you know, if I redid the game, I think I would go full rogue. I think I would go an unarmored dexterous rogue, a dagger rogue in the front that's also dexterous and evasion and stuff, and then I would have 2, like, I'd have a crossbowman and an archer. I'm sure you could do that and get away. You would probably have an easier time than many other setups, just a full rogue setup. But anyway, if I had 2 rogues on the back, if I had 2 archers, I'd probably use it, but I don't. But it's a very cool weapon. Don't be put off just because it has 1 attack power less on the crossbow. Those 2 extra points in speed, I think, really do equate to a lot, so. But anyway, that's the iron door. I can't use it, but obviously I'm going to show it anyway. I'm also going to reclaim my gem, because I love the gems. Gems are truly outrageous. Right, so we're done with that. As I say, there's this door here, which we can't access yet. The stairway down, but there is this door with a button, which are very cool looking. I love these doors as well, because it really kind of gives the idea of you've been in a grand temple, and you've just seen, guys, that oh shit, there's a trapdoor here. You've just seen that the floor after this, or like 2 floors after this, it gets really kind of messed up and very different aesthetically. So you don't get to experience these kind of grand regal areas very much, but I love that you do for a short period of time. I think that's cool. Obviously, another thing against the Grimrocks that I've just he kindly just reminded me of is you can use any elemental shields you've got. They won't always protect you because they're not always going to use the element that you've shielded yourself against, but they will be handy. For the most part, aside from the first few Grimrocks, aside from the first few Grimrocks that you fight, you're not actually gonna struggle too much. It will be just like fighting Guardians. You just need to be a little bit more careful, because particularly the ice spells that they cast, they can catch you off guard. They can be quite quick. Really, these things are only very dangerous when the game specifically puts you in traps full of them, and that was true of the Guardians too, so there's that. You know, I find myself really tempted to wonder about the actual lore in this game. Like, what relationship the Guardians have to the Goromorgs and stuff. Like, we had that one thing that those of the Order of the Sacred Fire, why are they helping the Goromorgs? Why do the Goromorgs have a temple down here? Why is there a temple in like a massive dungeon that the king... Yeah, look, oh, okay, so they disease you. They don't paralyze you, they disease you. Why is there this massive prison down here that people are being thrown in, but it's specifically designed so you can only go in one way? Like... Basically, the idea there is if you're down in the bottom, you can never get out. Why have they designed it that way? You know, there's actually a lot of really decent questions that I'd love to know the answers to. And sadly, I don't really think there are many of those answers. But that's, you know, that's why I think Grimrock 2 could be quite exciting. I've been reading their forums and stuff. I always love going to really small-time forums where there's not many people. They're just real fans of whatever the product is. And, yeah, they're pretty cool forums. There's a lot of people bitching about stupid stuff. Like, everyone over there, for some reason, like, seems to think that it's this great travesty of this game that there are spiders in it, giant spiders, because people have arachnophobia and it ruins the game for them. And it's like... And I read one post where someone was like, in response to this, why is this such a big deal for Grimrock? Giant spiders are like a real, you know, standard fantasy trope. Why is this such a big deal here? I totally agree with it. But anyway... A lot of people have cool ideas about Grimrock 2 and where it could go and stuff that I quite like. Namely, with this whole square dancing thing that you experience with this game, how most enemies... Like, in theory, you could kill a Goromorg, in theory, at level 1 before you've killed your first snail. I say in theory, that's a pretty big leap to make, but you could potentially do that just by dodging really carefully for like 5 hours or something and never getting hit once, or else it's game over. And you know, to some, maybe that's a bit of a flaw in the game. Anyway, there's another Shractor here which we need to kill. This area I'm running through at the moment. See, look at that. Look how quickly they can die. If Chaos like procs a rampage, then that's it. They're just done. This area is not really that complicated. There's some various things going on here, but I don't know why it's designed like this. There's this kind of central area that would allow you to skip through everything. And in the central area, there's some particularly nice armor. Check it out. We've got our next bit of the Valor set. We only just very recently got, what did we get? The gloves, I think it was? Well, now we've got the greaves. Greaves made out of strange ornate metal. Light dances across its surface. So yeah, look, no more kiting. And that there is our full Valor set. Now, if you want the achievement, though, you need to equip the Valor shield as well. So what I did to proc the achievement earlier is I just simply did that. I just double-clicked, basically. And that will mean Chaos has got a full Valor set on for that brief period of time where he has the shield, and you get the achievement. So there you go, that's the full Valor set. He is now awesome. Check it out. 77 protection, 4 evasion. And look how close their numbers are. And Natalie has 5 protection, 79 evasion. So they're just like a couple of numbers out on either side. And they're otherwise completely different sides of the same coin, the defense coin. It's really cool, I love it. And look at how much more experience you need to level up compared to Chaos at the moment. But anyway, there you go, guys. So that's the full Valor set. This area is a bit weird. It's like I said, there's no secrets here. There's just kind of long, kind of winding corridors filled with enemies. This floor is a bit weird in that it just seems to have a lot for you to fight a lot of the time. There's not too much in terms of puzzles or interesting new mechanics. There's just new enemies. You know, we've just been introduced to in very quick succession what, like 3 new types of enemies, and the floor is just sort of populated with them, as well as some old faces too. Another Goromorg. I guess it would be quite scary to have these guys looming out at you if you were really struggling against them, or you hadn't quite got over the ridiculous introduction the game gives to you in the first place. Just keep your bearings of where you're going, don't get lost while you're backing up. I seem to do okay at backing up on this game, I don't know why. Also, I've kind of noticed that, particularly with Arachnia, if I can get her to use stuff that aren't the poison clouds more often than not, you can make the Goromorg stumble and basically save yourself a lot of aggro, which is cool. These guys, of course, are very quick, though. Chaos is diseased again. Should we actually use this chance to make a freaking antidote? Because we never make antidotes. Let's do it. Let's do it. 1 flask. 1 tar bead. See, this is why I didn't want to do it. It's freaking tar beads, man. And then what's the other one? A slime ball. And slime balls too. You don't even get many of them. It just looks like the slime ball is just like polluting the tar bead, and that's it. It's so not worth it. Disease isn't that prevalent in the game at all, and you can just wait it off. It's not worth wasting a tar bead, Jesus. Anyway, Liz is leveled up, as you can see. There's another Shractor here. We just slap out of the way, basically. Liz, still very simple. I'm just going to keep piling it into missile weapons till she gets Master Archer. I don't know what I'm going to do after that, really. I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe just keep going into assassination, but I don't really need anything. Improved backstabbing, triple damage when attacking an enemy from behind. That would be really cool. If that counts for ranged weapons too, that would actually be really good. Improved backstabbing. Anyway, right. So, and I'm not sure it does. It might not. Anyway, so we've got this little room here. Okay, this is kind of just a little bit of progression. Try not to get lost, too confused by what's going on. There's lots of gates, as I can say. But here we've actually got a secret for us to acquire. There's this weird looking door here. There's also this weird, like, contraption type area. Whoa, hold on. I just told you guys not to get lost, and I got lost for myself. Yeah, there's this weird, like, little contraption area here. There's a stairway down, cool, and then there's also a pit. But you can see over on the left, there seems to be a way through. Well, there's not. That's the other side of this door. So what do? Well, the only thing that we can do, drop down the pit. And here you'll see that the tomb is slightly bigger, but again, these are just these tiny little areas that are meant to assist you. Down here you will find, not assist you, what am I talking about, that are just meant for pits and stuff. Down here you'll find 4 of these large crabs. You'll also find that you can kill them a lot easier now, a lot quicker, especially if you get some lucky rolls and get some high damage. They also can do barely any damage to you. They'll probably never hit any kind of dexterous rogue on the front, and Chaos is he's just such a boss now that he's got a full set of Valor armor. He just doesn't take that much damage. So feel free to run out there. I wouldn't recommend obviously letting your backline get hit, but if you do something like this, just make sure they don't sneak up on you, because obviously they can move quite quickly. But there's 4. I will cut it until they're dead. I can't be bothered to sit about. Nobody can be bothered. There we go. Right. Coolio. They're dead. Now, what you actually find in here is nothing too important as far as I remember. Downstairs, there's really not that much. There's lots of bombs. I would recommend you take frost bombs, but be careful at this point, because as you can even see here, look, I've had to move some bombs off of Liz because she's getting really weighed down. So if you're like me and you've been just hoarding bombs, don't be scared to start using them. I used a lot earlier, obviously, the lightning ones, which is great. But yeah, be careful of that. Actually start using your bombs if you can. Frost bombs, we all know how powerful they are. And also, on that note, I did query a while ago whether being a frost mage would allow us to freeze people in place. It does. You get a spell that has a chance to freeze people in place. I'm not sure that chance will be very high, but you do get a spell. Just going to replace my torch. So yeah, there's nothing much in there, but when you go up the staircase, where is this going to take us out? Well, on the other side of the pit, and here we get a new item, which is a very cool item. The Shield of the Elements. This gives us evasion plus 10, which is the same as what our Shield of Valor is giving us, but this also gives us resistance to all 4 elements in pretty significant amount as well. A shiny shield that is embossed with the magical symbols of the 4 elements. Now, I would put that on your mage if you can, because the mage has got low health, and now in combination with the fact that she is a mage and by speccing into various elements she gets elemental resistance, this means that when she's fighting Goromogs now, when Arachnia's fighting Goromogs, if they do hit us, because that's always going to hit the backline too, she's actually got a significant amount of resistance to the elements anyway now, and that's going to level the playing field quite significantly. It's a really good item and well timed to find it. So yeah, 2 more frost bombs there. That's why I was noting the frost bombs. She got weighed down, so I'm going to swap that over there to Chaos. So yeah, that's what you really get. A kind of a complicated looking area on the map. I was just pointing at the screen for some reason when you can't see. Kind of a complicated looking area, but not much going on. All you really want to do is come to this fence, which is really easy actually. If you just cut through all of the doors, you can get here in just a couple of steps basically. I'd love to see a speedrun of this game. I noticed that there's an achievement for completing the first floor in 4 minutes. Which is, that's pretty significant, 4 minutes. Considering, did I spend 2 episodes doing that? If you could play in 4 minutes, I might even put out a video of me doing it in 4 minutes. I think that'd be a pretty cool little bonus to do. Anyway, we've got this section with this alcove here. If you notice, there's actually a switch which will open the way in there, and look, we're behind the save crystal. This is a cool secret, not just because of the items you get, but because it's an easy way back to the save crystal, which you will sorely want. So look, over here we also get another note from Turum. There's a lot of notes from Turum on this floor. That says, I've seen similar crystals in the temples of Nex, which we've heard of before, but compared to these huge formations, they were withered and lifeless. Those crystals certainly didn't have enough power in them to bring a fallen companion back to life. I wonder how many times I can still cheat death. Here's a very weird idea, okay? In this game, actually no, we'll come back to this note because I don't want to spoil something. So we'll come back to that note probably next episode, and I'll explain something weird about it that someone actually messaged me on YouTube about, that now that I think about it is probably, it is quite weird. So anyway, right, we've got these items, just some blood drop blossoms, 4 more quarrels. So Jesus, we've now got plenty. We've got 28 of the damn things. I started losing them on my test play, but I'm going to try and be careful with that. There's another full plate helmet there if you want it. And also I stood on this earlier, which opened that door. This is also going to fire a lightning bolt at you. Now, to demonstrate to you guys how little damage Arachnia now takes, look at the damage Chaos takes, and then look at the damage she takes when we get hit by this. 9 damage compared to 25, and I've seen him take 40 here too. However, if you don't want to demonstrate to your non-existent viewers that that you're not going to take much damage, what you can always do is, in fact, you don't even need to do that. Drop anything you want on the pad, step to the side, step onto the pad, pick up your item, and there you go. It can be anything you want, and you'll be perfectly safe. Or you can dump some trash on there so you don't keep getting hit, which I'd recommend. If you ever want to go back to the save crystal, you don't want to, have to be fiddling about with that and getting hit by that. So there you go. This time I took 30 damage, but whatever. Okay, so this is another one of those weird sections. Not weird sections, very standard sections. We got 2 keys we need to get through another weird-looking door. The last door that had some serious effort to get through didn't have anything nice waiting for us on the other side. Let's see what this one's got. Well, over here, as you can see, we've got 2 doors again. This is very similar to when we originally had that tile set swap. If you remember, and we had the iron door puzzle with the dragons. There's 2 areas we can do. There's the shrine, and there's the caverns. I'm going to do the shrine for us first. And then we're going to end the episode as well. And I know we're only 16 minutes in at the moment, guys, but it's a good place to end it as far as I'm concerned. So, we've got this big room. We've got some throwing axes here. And if you have a look around, there doesn't seem to be much going on. I was just talking about dragons, funnily, and now there's lots of dragons in here. That's kind of cool. Lots of torches for extra light should you need it. I'm going to nab one of them. And simply, we have on a pedestal here this thing. I really like how these little assets are slowly blended together. I can see this is like a real kind of shrine type area. Very cool. So yeah, we've got a key here. Do we want to take it? Well, we've got no choice. We have to take it. So, I'm going to try and do it how I did it on my test run here. By doing that, you'll hear a weird sliver noise, and you'll notice tons of these guys have spawned. Ah, that was not a spell. What am I trying to do there? Tons of these guys will spawn. Now, you want to nuke them out quickly, and my recommendation would be to stay in this corner. Okay, because 2 Goromorgs spawn, and all of these grates, or 99%... Well, no, okay. A lot of these grates actually have the things coming out. Don't forget that those little guys can paralyze you. And being paralyzed is not something you want to happen in this room full of tons of Goromorgs. Look at all the damage Natalie's just taken. Not at all. If you're careful, the Goromorg on the far side of the room... I don't know why, but his AI seems to bug out and he just won't attack you. He won't come at you. So just really be careful. Left and right. Kill this first Goromorg here. Okay, thank God. Right. And now you're in a better situation to actually continue with the fight. So grab these. There was something else I wanted to demonstrate too. We could throw a bomb, I suppose. Now from here, what you can do is just range that guy out. You can throw bombs at him. You can cast spells at him. And the reason why I'd recommend you do this is because if you try and walk over to him, that's going to happen. And they're going to block your view, and they're going to paralyze you, and they're just not going to be friendly guys. So that would be my recommendation to you guys. If you did pick up that extra bow as well, potentially, from the iron door, you could have 2 bows to be ranging people out here. Don't forget, oh no, yeah, because it's got a skill requirement as well, so maybe you couldn't do that too well. But as you notice, this guy isn't fighting me. I think it's because the game detects that there's a tentacle monster in that grate in front of him, so it doesn't really... Basically, I'm line of sighting him. He doesn't realise he can hit me, even though he can, so he won't attack you, and that is how I solved this room. I don't know how I solved it on my first time. The guide I was reading recommends you just you pick up the key and you wing it and try and run out, because you'll notice these 2 grates on the way to the door don't actually have the tentacle monsters. Those are they. They look so creepy like that. Look at that, oh my god. So you could do it that way, and then just try and escape before the Goromorg fights you. I don't really care though. I like it my way. It seems a bit cheap just like trying to run out of the room. So I do find it interesting that the game, like the devs, have set up this room that would make you think you can't escape, but in fact you can because the grates are as such. So anyway, right, where did I put my axe? I keep throwing stuff the wrong way. Where is it? Ah, there it is. Okay, cool. I'm just going to clear out this room, all of these things here, guys. I'd say you should do the same because experience. I'll see you in a second when it's empty. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's all of them done. I don't know why the game gives you throwing axes at the start of this area. Like, I love the idea that somehow by using those throwing axes, you can just make this entire section really easy. There you go, another little bit of an ambush section in a very cool looking room, in my opinion. And we get a key from it. So we're actually done with the shrine here now. And next episode we're going to go into the caverns, guys. So I'm actually going to end this episode here. Oh, and that guy spawns too, so forgot about him. That guy spawns too after you get one key, and some more stuff is going to spawn down here when you get the second key too, so be aware of that. It's a nice idea to come back here and do this. The reason why I'm coming back is to go back to the save crystals. So anyway, next time, guys, we're going to complete the caverns. We're going to get the second key to get through that door. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and as a little bit of a hint, the next episode is going to be titled Two Room. So I'll see you then.